In this tutorial, I'll demonstrate how to use the magic wand, select subject, and select and mask to move an object that has hair or fur from one image to another. To get started, you'll need to make sure that the image with the subject you'd like to move is open in Photoshop, as well as the background image that you're going to move the subject to. Okay, so the next thing that you'll do is put the magic wand in your hand. Click on the Select Subject button. And then once you see the marching ants, you're going to choose Select and Mask. And what you'll notice is, especially if you zoom in, you'll notice that if we were to take the Move tool and try to move this werewolf the way it is right now, you're going to lose that hairy or furry appearance of the subject. And we want to try to retain that hair or fur when we move it over. So what we're going to do is go over to the right hand side. Make sure if this doesn't have that red background, what you want to do is go over to the view menu and choose overlay. And then what we're going to do is take the Refine Edge brush tool, put it in our hands, and make sure that we have a plus sign here. That should be the default setting, but just be sure that the plus sign is selected. And then what you're going to do is you're going to zoom in and you're just going to start maybe at the head of the subject and work your way around the body. But essentially what you're going to do is zoom in and then take your mouse, and anywhere where you see this hair or fur and you see some white in the background there, we want to basically use our mouse kind of like a paintbrush, click, hold, and drag, and we want to kind of paint some red into that fur or hair. And by doing so, we're getting the computer to transfer over that fur or hair appearance when we eventually move this object to the other background image. Okay, we don't want to go too deeply into this because we don't want to accidentally, inadvertently take away body parts. Okay, and this is definitely a time-consuming, tedious task. But if we want to move furry or hairy objects effectively and make them look as realistic as possible, this is a process that must be done. So keep going all the way around. I know that this is time consuming. This is something that is definitely going to take some practice and getting used to. Okay. And you're going to keep going. We want to make sure that we don't have a tremendous amount of white. There's a lot of white in here. I want to make sure I get all the way in. Okay. And then keep going. Okay. So this is a tutorial, so I don't want to spend the whole time doing this. It's kind of like watching grass grow when you're watching tutorials that demonstrate the whole thing, right? But I hope that when I zoom out, you can see a difference between what I've done and the areas in which I haven't gotten to yet. This is going to make a big difference when I transfer this over. Let's pretend I went all the way around the werewolf and I used my mouse and I brushed into the hair or the fur of the werewolf, and I'm all done. Next, you'll go over back to the right-hand side menu, scroll all the way down, go to Output Settings, click Decontaminate Colors, and then click OK. And now you can put the Move tool in your hand, click, hold, and drag, go over to the background image and release. And of course, you can move this object around. We need to rename this so we know that it's the werewolf. And then, of course, edit, free transform will allow you to resize this. This is going to be close to the camera, so maybe we will make this tremendously larger. And maybe this is kind of hanging off the photo. And once you get it to a size and location that you're satisfied with, hit the Enter key, and you can always move this around at any point. Okay. All right, so that is how you use select and mask to take a hairy or furry subject and move it from one image to another. All right, happy editing. Have fun.